Matt Burden, founder of FPW. When did you start it up?
FPW first started probably about the origins of it probably about a year and a half ago. So our first show was in May of 2011. So I guess kind of January of that year. In fact, Christmas of the previous year, Christmas 2010. There you go. Over a karaoke, bizarre Chinese meal between three old school friends. But yeah, that's when the seeds were sown.
Excellent. What are your goals for FPW?
I think really just to provide. I think probably to kind of nullify. I think kind of a preconceived idea that wrestling is just a kind of not a dying form of entertainment, but I think there's this stigma that it's dull, or it's just been played out, and nobody's ever seen anything fresh, and it's either for children or it's so hardcore that it's not accessible to everyone. And I think really for us, really just provide shows that are for everybody. So mum, dad, 11-year-olds, 5-year-olds, boo, hiss, whatever. There's something there for everyone. So just to see how far we can take it, really.
Excellent. What makes FPW different from the rest, from the other promotions?
It's different. Oh God, incestuous business wrestling. Yeah. What makes us different from the rest? I guess not kind of putting down the competition in any way, but I would like to think. Exactly as I said, it's accessible to everyone, or our shows are accessible to everyone. We want to surprise the parents in the, I suppose, professional and kind of skillful performances, but at the same time, we want the kids to go home buzzing and talking about our characters. We've kind of taken the old comic book ethos that every comic book is somebody's first comic book, and so I just want this to be exactly like that. So if you're coming to one of our shows and you're at the 4th show, you're not lost. You don't have to know about wrestling or have ever seen a wrestling show before.
Excellent. Do you have plans to extend FPW into any other kind of geographical areas?
We've basically got a year here. We're covered for a year.
Right.
We've got an arrangement. This is very dull. Insurance. But we love this venue. We really, really like this venue. One of the things that we wanted to do was kind of create a real local sense of pride, I suppose, kind of like a football club. Yeah. The idea is that just down the road from you, there is a place where you can cut loose and you can scream and shout and boo and all the rest of it. As far as being a bit reach going wider, absolutely. If the opportunity presented itself, we would give it a go. But we love this venue, definitely.
What's your favourite thing about wrestling?
Favourite thing about wrestling, just the show of it. Just the show, the boos, the cheers, the pop. Just that. There's no other. I don't think anyway. No other medium, no other art form with this huge mixture of entertainment. It's so flexible. You can tell so many stories with it, and that's what we want to do. We want to tell stories. That's about 5 different answers, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a pop, basically. There is absolutely nothing like saying something that vibes with the whole crowd. And there's nothing like watching a match that you've provided and having it go over amazingly well. So, crowd reaction.
What do you think of the current British wrestling scene?
I'll be honest, I'm quite new to the current British wrestling scene. I think Steve brought me in purely as a fan of times gone past. I probably started watching wrestling in the late 80s, early 90s, so I kind of came up with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and just the end of Hulk Hogan, and they're nudging. Chris and Joe, clearly the Iron Man match is a big one for them. So yeah, I suppose the American wrestling is probably my biggest influence as far as knowledge is concerned. But having started doing this, of course you have to sift through YouTube, you have to trawl through all of these videos to see what FWA are doing and PTW and all the rest. And I was really, really surprised. It's a huge kind of world that we've kind of scratched the surface of and kind of seen. I think that there are a lot of innovative things being done. It's difficult to kind of be PC here. I think also that there's a lot of territory that's constantly being trodden, and I would hope that FPW are kind of there to kind of refresh in a way. But really, really impressed with what we've seen this year, certainly.
Excellent. Well, one final thing. What do you think British wrestling needs to come back to the mainstream, the prime time TV?
British, I think the people of I think the people of the world actually need to have a little bit more faith in the talent that we've got here. I think it's a preconceived idea that WWE and TNA to a smaller extent are the only places to go. If we are able to put this on TV and give somebody an alternative, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. We've certainly had that reaction from the YouTube videos that we've posted so far. But I think acceptance, to be honest, it is that preconceived notion that British wrestling is tired, and as much as I absolutely love all of that stuff that went on before Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy, if anything, when we're dropping flyers and talking to people in the streets, that's the stuff that they remember, and those are the guys that we want to come back and show that we can put on shows like that, but with a little bit of a difference. So I think really just to be accepted that actually we've got a lot of talent here.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Matt. Cheers.
Thank you.